There is a focus so deep that ancient Zen masters could remain motionless for days and completely lost in one task while the world moved around them. 1500 years ago, in the mountain temples of Japan and China, monks created something amazing. Not meditation as we know it today, but a skill of attention so exact it could turn the messy mind into a laser. They called it Mushin, the mind of no mind. A state where distractions stop to exist, where hours feel like minutes, where work moves without effort, without fight, without the tiring battle against your own wandering thoughts. And the strange part? Modern brain science is finding that these old monks were using the same brain systems that tech companies now spend billions trying to understand. Today, you will learn the real system, not the weak versions of mindfulness apps, not the productivity tricks copied from blog posts, the real Zen way that turned scattered attention into amazing focus. Have you ever felt a moment where you were so deep in something that time disappeared? Where 3 hours felt like 10 minutes? Where the work felt easy, almost automatic? The Greeks called it flow. Experts call it peak performance. Zen masters simply called it the natural state, and they found how to enter it anytime they wanted. But here is what modern productivity culture hides. You cannot force focus. The harder you try to focus, the more your attention breaks. This is why every productivity system fails. They fight against how the mind truly works. The Zen masters knew something deep. Focus is not something you make, it is something you allow. Before we go deeper, please subscribe and leave a comment. What task do you find hardest to focus on? Your answer helps shape future videos. Kyoto, 1240 AD. A young monk named Dogen sits in the meditation hall, surrounded by senior monks. His task is simple: count his breaths from 1 to 10, then start again. A basic focus exercise. He makes it to 3 before his mind drifts. He starts again, makes it to 4. His knee itches, starts again. 2 breaths. A noise outside, again. 5 breaths. Remembers something from yesterday, again. For 6 hours he cannot finish one set of 10 breaths without losing focus. This was not strange. Dogen was smart, disciplined, driven, yet his mind acted like an untrained puppy, chasing every sound, unable to stay on the simplest task. Sound familiar? You sit down to work on something important. Within minutes, you check email, then social media, then back to work, then think about food, then a notification, then you see 30 minutes gone and nothing real done. This is not a new problem. It is not because of phones or the internet. It is the normal state of the untrained human mind, the same for thousands of years. Dogen tried everything. He meditated longer. He slept less, thinking tiredness would calm his thoughts. He memorized texts, hoping knowledge would bring peace. Nothing worked. His mind stayed messy, broken, always distracted. Until his teacher, Rujing, showed him something that changed everything. Not by explaining, but by asking one question that broke his whole idea of what focus really was. After watching Dogen struggle for months, Rujing came to him during meditation and whispered, "Who is trying to focus?" Dogen was confused. "I am trying to focus, Master." "And who is noticing that you are distracted?" Dogen stopped. I am noticing. So there is one you trying to focus and another you watching and judging. Which one is real?" The question froze Dogen completely. He had been fighting himself. One part trying to focus, another part watching and blaming his failure. The act of trying to focus was causing the distraction. This is the first Zen rule of focus, and modern brain science has only now proved it true. The watcher and the doer are not separate. When you try to focus, you make an inner split. One part of your mind does the task. Another part watches and thinks, "Am I focusing enough? Am I getting lost? Should I do this better?" This inner talk, what Zen masters call the monkey mind, uses a lot of mental energy. It is like driving a car while someone in the back seat keeps questioning every move you make. A 2018 study from MIT's brain department looked at what happens in the brain during hard focus versus natural focus. Dr. Earl Miller's team used brain scans to watch brain activity in both states. The results were clear. During hard focus, the kind where you try to focus, many brain parts turn on at once, fighting for energy. The front brain, control center, the mind-wandering part, and the watching part all fire together, making what experts called mental conflict. But during natural focus, the flow state, something amazing happened. The watching parts went quiet. The self-thinking stopped. Only the work-related brain parts stayed active. The brain became much more efficient, using less energy and doing better work. Dr. Miller said, "The brain works best not when we add more effort, but when we remove inner resistance." The Zen masters knew this 2,500 years earlier. Rujing taught Dogen a practice that seemed strange, shikantaza, just sitting. No counting breaths, no pictures in mind, no goal, just sitting with full attention, but without trying to reach anything. "When you sit," Rujing said, "do not try to focus. Do not try to clear your mind. Do not try to reach enlightenment. Just sit. When a thought comes, let it come. When it goes, let it go. You do nothing. You are the space where thoughts happen." This was new and felt opposite of logic. How can you build focus by not trying to focus? Here is what Dogen found in practice. When you stop fighting distraction, something amazing happens. The distractions lose their power. Imagine you are sitting in meditation. A thought comes. What should I eat for dinner? The normal reaction is inner talk. Stop thinking about dinner. You must focus. You are failing. This talk is more distracting than the first thought. It makes a chain. Now you think about dinner, then blame yourself for thinking, then think about not focusing, then blame again, falling deeper into distraction. The Zen way is very different. A thought comes. What should I eat for dinner? You see it. You do not fight it, do not judge it, do not push it away. You simply notice, a thought about dinner. Then you return to your work, not by force but softly, like guiding a child's attention back. The thought goes away by itself, because thoughts are like clouds. They come, they pass, they need no effort to go. Only your attention to them makes them strong. This rule, what Zen calls wu-wei or non-striving, is the base of easy focus. Harvard Medical School did a major study in 2020 on meditation students of different skill levels. Dr. Sarah Lazar's team counted how often distracting thoughts came and how the brain reacted. The results surprised them. Advanced students did not have fewer distracting thoughts than beginners. The thoughts came just as often, but their brains reacted differently. In beginners, each thought triggered a storm of brain activity: judgment, emotions, self-thinking, planning. One thought could light up many brain areas. In advanced students, thoughts appeared but caused almost no reaction. The thought came, was seen, and faded. Attention stayed steady. They did not stop thoughts. They just stopped feeding them attention. Dr. Lazar said, "Mental clarity is not about having fewer thoughts. It is about having a different way of meeting them." This shows why normal concentration tricks often fail. When you try to stop thoughts, you give them energy. The act of pushing away makes the very distraction you want to end. After 5 years of practice, Dogen wrote down his learning, which became the base of Zen focus training. He found 3 gates, 3 steps the mind must cross to reach deep focus. The first gate, seeing without reacting. The untrained mind works on autopilot. A distraction comes and you react. Opening a tab, checking a message, following a thought. There is no pause between what happens and what you do. The first step is simple but powerful. Notice when distraction comes, but do not act right away. You are writing. You feel a need to check email. Instead of clicking fast, you stop. You see, the need to check email. You do not fight it. You do not blame yourself. You just name it and go back to writing. This few seconds pause, seeing without reacting, starts to break the habit of instant distraction. It is like making a small gap in a chain. Over time, that gap grows. A study from the University of California in 2019 showed that this one step, just naming distractions without acting, cut task switching by 47% in 3 weeks. People did not use any blocking tools, they only practiced noticing. The second gate, single focus. Once you can see distraction without reacting, the next gate opens. The skill to bring attention back to one thing, again and again, without blame. Zen uses the breath to train this, but it fits any task. You put your focus on your work. Distraction pulls you away. Without anger or judgment, you gently bring focus back. Again and again. This is not hard forcing. It is like training a puppy. The puppy wanders. You gently bring it back. It wanders again. You bring it back. No scolding, no stress, just calm, steady guidance. Most people stop here because it feels like failure. I keep getting distracted. It's not working. But this is the training itself. Every time you bring your focus back, it is like one rep in a gym. You are not failing. You are growing stronger. Stanford University's brain research under Dr. Andrew Huberman showed why. Every time you notice distraction and bring your focus back, you strengthen the brain paths that control attention. The part of the brain called the anterior cingulate cortex, used for focus control, actually grows stronger with practice. But here's the key. Forcing attention back harshly does not work. The return must be soft, easy. Think of it as letting attention settle, not dragging it. Dogen said, "Do not pull the mind, invite it." After about 6 months of steady practice, 10 minutes a day, people often notice something amazing. The mind starts to come back to focus on its own before they even notice distraction. The third gate, deep absorption. The third gate cannot be pushed. It appears naturally after enough practice of the first two. This is samadhi, total absorption where the line between you and the task disappears. In this state, there is no you focusing. There is only the task happening with your body and mind working together. Time feels different. Effort fades. The work flows easily, like breathing. Athletes call it the zone. Artists call it inspired creation. Programmers call it deep work. The feeling is the same, a state of easy focus where top performance happens without trying. But Zen masters knew something key. You cannot aim for this state. The moment you try to reach it, you wake the self-awareness that stops it. Absorption comes only when you stop trying to get absorbed. This is the mystery of Zen focus. The goal is to forget the goal. The Max Planck Institute in Germany did research in 2021 on flow states and brain harmony. They found that during deep absorption, the brain's parts move together in balance, what they called neural harmony. But when people tried to force this harmony, it broke. Those who tried to enter flow showed more brain conflict. Those who just did their task calmly entered harmony naturally. Dr. Ullmann Lindenberger, who led the study, said, "The harder you chase flow, the more it escapes. Flow comes from full engagement without holding on to results." This is exactly what Dogen taught 800 years ago. Now the main question, how do you use this old wisdom in modern work? Dogen made a clear training plan, kept safe and improved by Zen monks for ages. This is not theory. It is a step-by-step way to turn a scattered mind into sharp focus. Week 1 to 2, basic practice. Start with 10 minutes daily. not more. Doing it every day matters more than how long. Sit comfortably. Choose a task: writing, coding, reading, anything needing focus. Set a timer for 10 minutes. Work on your task. When distraction comes, and it will, do not act on it. Just think. Distraction. Then gently return focus to your task. That's all. Do not blame yourself for distraction. Do not praise yourself for coming back. Just notice and return. Notice and return. It feels too simple. People expect a fancy trick. But the simplicity is the point. You are training the base skill, choosing where your mind stays. Week 3 to 4, longer sessions. Raise time to 20 minutes. Now add a new part. Notice how your focus feels. Is it sharp or dull, calm or tight? When focus feels tense, as if you are forcing it, pause for a moment. Take 3 deep breaths. Return to your task with softer focus, like you are listening to it instead of pushing. This shows the key difference between hard focus, tiring and short-lived, and soft focus, easy and lasting for hours. A 2017 study from the University of British Columbia found that people who used soft attention could stay focused 2.3 times longer than those using tight concentration and felt much less tired. Week 5, 8, pattern awareness. By week 5, you will start to see patterns. Some kinds of work distract you more. Some times of day feel sharper. Some places affect focus. Do not change anything yet. Just notice. The Zen way teaches awareness before action. You are mapping how your focus works. Keep a short note. What task? What time? How many times distracted? How did focus feel? This info is gold. You stop fighting your nature and start using it. Week 9 to 12, deep practice. Now make sessions longer, 30 minutes, 45, then an hour or more. But here's the rule: do not push when you feel drained. If focus truly fades, not just small distraction, but real tiredness, stop. Take a full break. Zen masters saw that the mind works in cycles. You cannot stay at top focus forever. They worked in times close to what modern science calls ultradian rhythms, 90 to 120-minute waves of high and low mental energy. Trying to go past your natural limit does not build focus, it burns it. MIT's 2019 study on mental endurance found that people who worked in 90-minute blocks with full breaks kept focus strong through 4 sessions a day. Those who tried to work longer lost focus early, and it got worse through the day. Dr. Robert Stickgold, who led the study, said, "The brain is not a muscle that grows by exhaustion. It is more like a battery that must recharge to work well." Dogen saw something most modern productivity advice misses. Your surroundings have a big effect on focus, but not in the way you might think. Normal advice: remove all distractions. Work in a silent room with no phone, no internet, nothing that could pull focus. Zen is more subtle. In Zen temples, monks practiced focus while activity continued. Other monks moving, birds singing, wind blowing, temple bells ringing. They did not want fake silence. They learned to keep focus in real noise. Why? Because in real life you cannot fully control surroundings. If focus depends on perfect conditions, it breaks the moment a door slams or a notification pops up. Instead, Zen practice makes focus aware of surroundings, but not dependent on them. You hear a sound, you notice it, you return to work. The sound does not pull you because you do not fight it. But this is important. Some distractions are made to grab attention. Social media, news feeds, endless scrolling. They take advantage of your brain's desire for new things. They are not natural noise, they are traps for attention. The Zen approach is simple. Remove the trap completely, not with willpower but with design. Delete apps, use blockers, make distractions harder to reach. You do not build focus by always resisting temptation. You build focus by removing the need to resist. A Princeton study in 2020 on attention residue, the leftover mind from interrupted tasks, found that even short time in high-stimulus places, social media, news, lowered focus for 20-30 minutes after leaving. People were not even using the platforms, just having access, knowing they could check, used enough brain energy to reduce work quality. Dr. Sophie Leroy, who led the study, said, "Willpower is limited. Designing your space to remove temptation works better than relying on self-control." Here is something Zen masters deeply understood. How good your first hour is sets the tone for your whole day. In temples, the day started at 3 a.m. with meditation, not because monks liked pain, but because they knew the first thing you do sets the mind for everything after. If you start your day by checking email, social media, news, filling your mind with other people's tasks and problems, you train your mind to react. You set a pattern of broken focus before real work even starts. Zen morning practice was made to build the opposite pattern: steady, self-guided focus before dealing with outside demands. You do not need to wake at 3 a.m., but the rule is, start your day with work that needs focus before checking anything outside. Write, code, read, create. Even 20 minutes of focused work before outside inputs greatly improves your mind for the rest of the day. A 2016 study from the University of California, Irvine tracked workers' attention. They found people who did focused work in the first hour of the day averaged 4.2 hours of deep focus total. Those who started with email and messages averaged 1.7 hours, less than half the deep focus, though total hours worked were the same. Dr. Gloria Mark, who led the study, said, "How you start your day is not a preference, it is a mental investment. The first hour's pattern affects all later hours." By the 6th month of practice, Dogen noticed something strange. Harder tasks felt easier, while easier tasks felt harder. Complex writing that once needed great effort now flowed naturally. Hard philosophical problems he once found tiring became fun puzzles he could work on for hours without getting tired. But simple, repetitive tasks, copying texts, organizing things, felt almost unbearable. His mind, now trained for deep focus, struggled with shallow work. This is the Zen paradox of focus. Once you train your mind for depth, simple tasks become harder, not easier. Modern knowledge workers feel the opposite. Years of shallow work, emails, meetings, small tasks, wear out the ability for deep focus. Hard tasks needing long attention feel tiring, but quick task switching feels natural. The brain adjusts to what you practice. If you practice scattered focus, you get good at being scattered, but bad at depth. If you practice deep focus, you get good at depth, but clumsy at switching tasks. This is not good or bad. It just shows that focus is a skill that must be trained. You cannot be best at shallow and deep focus at the same time. You must choose what to grow. Georgetown University research in 2018 on mental specialization found that workers who set specific time for deep focus, at least 3 hours a day, performed better on complex tasks than peers with same skills but scattered time. But they also did slightly worse on fast task switching. Dr. Cal Newport, who studied this, said, "Top performance in complex tasks needs focused skill. You cannot be best at depth and breadth at once." The Zen masters chose depth. After 12 years of practice, Dogen achieved something amazing. He could meditate for 8 hours without distraction. He could write for 6 hours fully focused. His mind had become almost supernatural. Then his teacher Rujing gave him a final lesson, one that completed his understanding. "Now," Rujing said, "forget everything I taught you." Dogen was confused. "Master, I do not understand." When you first came, you could not focus because you were distracted. Now you can focus, but you are attached to focusing. You have swapped one prison for another. True mastery is not scattered attention or forced focus. It is attention that flows naturally, correctly to what needs it, and then releases naturally when done. This is the ultimate Zen teaching on focus. The goal is not iron willpower to force attention. The goal is to remove obstacles that stop attention from flowing naturally. Your mind in its natural state can stay focused for long. Children show this constantly, fully absorbed in play for hours. You always had this ability. You did not lose it. It was hidden under habits, distractions, and inner resistance. The Zen system does not add something new. It removes what does not belong. When the monastery burned in 1243, destroying years of Dogen's work, people thought he would be upset. Instead, he sat the next morning and wrote again, fully absorbed, as if nothing happened. Someone asked, "Master, does it not upset you to lose so much work?" He replied, "The work was never mine to keep. Attention is. I give it fully to what is present, then release it when the moment passes." This is the complete teaching. Focus is not a tool or weapon, but the natural state of a mind that has learned to stop fighting itself. Everything Dogen found through meditation, modern brain science now confirms with research. In 2022, Yale University studied long-term meditation students, people with over 10,000 hours of practice. Using advanced brain scans, they checked both brain structure and function during focus tasks. The results confirmed what Zen masters had said for centuries. Long practice literally changes the brain's focus networks. The dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, used for long attention, showed more gray matter. The anterior cingulate cortex, which notices and solves focus conflicts, showed stronger connections. Most importantly, the default mode network, responsible for mind wandering, showed lower activity at rest and faster turning off during focus tasks. Dr. Judson Brewer, who led the study, said, "We are seeing the brain sign of mastery. These people not only improve attention, they change how their brains handle attention." The biggest finding: benefits depend on practice and can reverse. Improvements match practice hours, but fall when practice stops. Focus, like fitness, needs maintenance. A 2021 University of Wisconsin study looked at the minimum effective practice. How much is needed to improve? They found a threshold. People who practiced at least 10 minutes of focused attention daily showed progress in 8 weeks. Less than 10 minutes showed little change. More than 10 minutes gave faster gains up to 90 minutes daily, after which extra time gave smaller results. The conclusion: 10 minutes daily is the minimum for brain change. 90 minutes is the best limit for most. This matches traditional Zen advice. Start small, grow gradually, but no more is not always better. The full Zen focus system is not fast. Dogen trained for 12 years to reach mastery, but real change happens much quicker. After 3 months of steady practice, just 10 minutes daily, you will notice the first shift. Distractions still come, but they no longer fully take you off track. Recovery is faster. After 6 months, long focus becomes much easier. Tasks that once needed huge effort feel natural. You reach flow states more often. After 12 months, focus becomes your normal state, not a special mode you need to turn on. Your basic attention quality has changed deeply. But the Zen masters warn, this is not a straight line. You will have fast progress periods and plateaus. Some days focus feels easy, other days impossible. This is normal. The mind is not a machine. It has rhythms, cycles, and natural changes. Practice is showing up consistently, no matter how it feels any day. Motivation changes. Discipline changes. Practice should not. The old Zen focus method is not a productivity trick. It is not a shortcut. It is a full change in how you deal with attention. Most people will watch this, feel inspired, maybe try it for a few days, then return to their usual distracted habits. Not because it does not work, but because real change needs what most people will not give: steady practice over months with no instant reward. The first weeks feel like nothing is happening. Distractions continue. The mind still wanders. People quit because they see no results. But under the surface, brain paths are forming. Connections are growing. The structure of attention is being rebuilt. By the time you notice the change, the deepest work has already been done. This is the final Zen lesson. Trust the process, not the progress. Practice not because you see results, but because the practice itself is the goal. Dogen wrote in his final years, "Many seek the way to enlightenment, hoping to get something they do not have. Few know that enlightenment is just removing what stops your natural clarity from showing." Focus is not something you must gain, it is something you must uncover. The question is not whether you can sustain attention. You can. The question is whether you will practice removing what stops it. When your focus is so complete that hours feel like minutes, when your work flows easily like breathing, when distractions come and go without disturbing you, you will understand what Zen masters found. This is not superhuman power, it is human ability, finally free. If you found this guide on ancient Zen focus useful, subscribe for more forgotten wisdom applied today. Comment below. What is the one task you most want to master long focus for? Remember, the focus that changes your work is not made in a day. It is built in 10 minutes, every day, until the scattered mind learns to be whole. Thank you for your attention, the most valuable thing you have.